What's going on, everybody? This is Afro Think Tank. Thousands of people die in France and in other parts of Europe because of this epidemic and historic heat wave that's happening over there in Europe. And I would say it's sad, but not really, right? It's sad, that people can't go outside and live and that the sun is literally killing them as soon on sight. It's like the sun has green lit these people. As soon as they step outside, blah. Like, I don't know what it's like to have the sun be the enemy. And it's not like, black people can burn, but it takes a lot. And when we burn, it's like a first layer skin burn, and after that, we're all good. Like, we burn and then our skin readapts, and then that's it. We burn the first time. That's it. We don't get the blisters. I mean, unless we stand and getting baked. Like, anybody can get baked. If anything, eat too many carrots, right? It's bad for you, right? Drink too much water, even though it hydrates you, it can kill you, right? Asphyxiation. Too much anything, right? But for the most part, we're good. We're all good here. But Europe, man, I swear they're going through all kind of stuff. It's like there's got to be retribution. There's got to be like divine retribution or something, because all the colonies which they stole when they pillaged and murdered and did their thing, right? They're all burning up over there too. All the colonies, they're burning up. Like Australia, like, why are you even in Australia, right? You don't belong there. South Africa, you don't belong there. Argentina, you don't belong there. Most of America, you don't belong there, and y'all burning up. But the worst part about it is your homeland, the place that you're from, the place that's supposed to be the safest for you, right, as far as your skin, because your Europeans are specially adapted to being in places without sun. That's why they have no melanin in it. They're adapted to it. That's why they drink milk. They get their vitamin D from cows because they can't get it from the sun. All right. So even the place of where they are from, their homeland, the place that should be the safest for them to go retreat back to, because of their colonies, they're dying in their colonies, right? They're going extinct in their colonies. The people they have subjugated are slowly but surely taking back everything. They don't have the numbers to hold on to nothing. But their home base, Europe, is also being overran, right? And on top of everything else, on top of the humongous European war that's a mutual genocide between Ukraine and Russia. Besides all the immigration, right, that's coming in, to the country from the countries that Europeans, and their governments have exploited for decades, keeping them subservient. And that's usually the reason why, they come to the country, right? They're just following their stuff, their money from the rape, murder, and pillaging the Europeans do. They're just following their stuff to where it's going, right? So not only they got that, right, but you got the fact that nature also says that the white man should not be allowed to produce sperm at a regular rate, no matter where they are on Earth, right? Which this is another compounding problem. And then your societies you created is not conducive for creating families that can continue on the lineages of Europeans. So there's a lot of factors saying that some force of nature is saying that the species, freaking Neanderthalithic, Homo sapien Europeanistics is no longer viable for this planet, right, or something. I mean, many animals done went extinct over time, due to environmental changes and things like that, right? And human beings are no different from any other animal, even though I know, so some human beings think that they're malevolently more special than any other living creature, right? Just because we can build things and stuff, and there's other animals that build shit too, right? We're just very advanced, so do we think, very advanced living creatures, right? But nonetheless, we are still creatures, and we are subservient to the ultimate law, which is nature's law, right? Nature says that the body frame specialization of the white-skinned European is no longer viable for Earth. Therefore, that body frame, that unit, must be discontinued, right? And the original body frame, the African American body frame, the black aesthetic, the Afro, biological, format is obviously the supreme and superior, unit for our spirits to come down here and have a good time, right? So everything's going back to black. Everything's going back to black. And we're watching, how that happens. So it happens through natural disasters, through natural phenomena. We don't even have to do anything. We just sit back and we'll let nature do its thing, right? And if you put yourself in a hostile environment, right? Like if there's a hazard zone over there, and I know if I go on the other side of that gate, it's the hazard zone, I'm not gonna go over there, right? Just like I'm not going to Antarctica because I know it's cold, I'm black, right? I'm not gonna go in Antarctica where my big supple lips will freeze immediately, right? I'm not gonna go there, right? Where my twitch muscles mean nothing, I'm not going there, right? So just like that, they should also think there's places that they probably shouldn't go or probably shouldn't stay very long, right? And that's places where the sun is, right? Don't go there. Don't stay very long because you're not meant for it, you know? You have to adapt. If you want to survive, that white skin wants to survive, it has to adapt and maybe go underground or go into caves, because that's the only way you're going to maintain that non-melanated skin. Just like, you know, spiders, some spiders, they go into, you got cave spiders and cave crickets, and, you know, they don't come out of the sun and they become translucent and transparent over time, right? And that's how they adapt. They stay in that cave. But as soon as they come out and hit that sun, that's it. And so Europeans are not the only creatures that are not meant for the sun. There's a lot of creatures that don't come out during the sun. They come out at night, right? Or they come out in places where the sun doesn't shine enough, doesn't hurt them. So, yeah. So I'm gonna show you guys. This shit is real. Like, not even making fun. Like, you gotta come. There's only been so much lotion, FPS you can slap on your skin. That shit ain't gonna work forever. You know, y'all gonna have to start wearing space suits on Earth, right? You know, forget Mars. Y'all gotta try to learn how to survive on Earth, right? Before you try to go anywhere else. Anyway, you guys tell me what y'all think in the comment section. This is Afro Think Tank. Learn something. Teach something. I'm out.
France is warning its death toll will likely rise as more details are learned about those affected by last week's record-breaking heat wave. Its public health agency estimates that more than 1,000 additional deaths were linked to the scorching temperatures that took place from Wednesday to Friday last week.
Half of all Americans are bracing for a prolonged and dangerous heat wave, and it could peak at the start of the July 4th holiday. Sorry, guys. Right when many of us will be outside for parades and barbecues, the temperatures in some places in the eastern U.S. could be the hottest in over a decade. CNN meteorologist Derek Van Dam here with the very latest. The National Weather Service is telling us that this heat wave is different and to pay attention and be warned. What can we expect?
It's because of the humidity. The humidity is going to be off the charts, and that makes it so much harder for your body to regulate the heat and cool itself down properly. 50 million Americans or more will experience triple-digit temperatures this week leading into the 4th of July holiday weekend. Terrible timing, Mother Nature. Why do we have to do it now, right? All of us want to be outdoors. Here's a look at what Chicago looked like at sunset last night. I like to see people doing their activities late at night because, of course, that helps minimize the amount of sun exposure you get. But this is how warm it could feel today in the Windy City. 104 degrees, both Indianapolis and Chicago in the triple digits for the heat index. We're talking lower 90s along the East Coast, but that's going to go up. Let me show you why. Look at the heat alerts. We've got 70 million Americans under alerts at the moment. These include warnings. So excessive heat warnings, St. Louis to Chicago into Grand Rapids, my home city. But look what's headed into the weekend. That is a large density of population, some of the largest density in the country, right along that I-95 corridor that's going to be trapped under this heat dome. High pressure, depending on its exact position, can stream in the high humidity levels, and that is going to make it feel oppressive, downright dangerous. Pay attention to this graphic, because this is important from NOAA. That shading of purple, see how that shifts from the Ohio River Valley, eventually making its way into the mid-Atlantic by Friday and Saturday, coinciding with the 4th of July. That's extreme heat risk. That means all populations are vulnerable to a long exposure in the sun outdoors. So you factor in the humidity, the high dew point levels, and this is what your body is going to be battling this week. And when we talk about temperatures skyrocketing to above 110, that is when you need to take it seriously, hydrate, find air conditioning if you can, and take prolonged breaks from the sunshine as you plan your outdoor activities for the big 250 birthday celebrations this weekend. By the way, Sarah, I want to show you this. DC, we should be 89. By Saturday, the 4th of July, that's 101 degrees. That's the actual air temperature. This could go down as the hottest 4th of July ever recorded in DC's history. The heat wave that's been scorching Europe for the past week appears to be nearing its end. It peaked in Poland on Monday and is now shifting east. In a Polish coastal town, beachgoers attempted to keep cool during the record-breaking weekend. Lifeguards prepared early in the day. At the main lifeguard base, an emergency response team was on standby, and the lifeguards themselves had to work extra hard to stay protected, as their watchtower is uncovered.
Firstly, I would have a hat on for the whole day. It's really important because it's really dangerous to sit with the head without a hat. I need to care for my water, of course. We need to stay hydrated.
At the end of the day, when you're soaked up, you're beaten down, you finished cleaning up yourself, the equipment, and you think, hey, this was a good day.
As for the lifeguards' tips for beachgoers, just 3 items.
First one, hydration, that's a bottle of water. Second, UV protection and sunshades. And the third one is really good humor. Have fun, that's all you need. Stay safe and have fun.
Another lifeguard on the beach had one more tip.
If
you consume alcohol and enter the water, there is a risk to life and health. But remember that if we consume alcohol and do not even enter the water, there is still a risk that we may fall asleep on the beach, and then we may also suffer heat stroke. So we appeal to not consume alcohol on the beach.
Good advice for people all over Europe, as more heat is expected next week. Derek Van Dam, CNN.
Okay, some very good tips there that we heard from lifeguards in Poland. Number 1, you got to stay hydrated. Number 2, UV protection. And of course, number 3, you can still have fun. Now, joining us now is Alejandro Saez Reale. He is an extreme heat specialist and global heat health information network coordinator at the World Meteorological Organization. Pardon me. Sir, thank you for joining us on the program and for talking to us about this really serious health hazard that's often underreported. You and your organization, you call extreme heat a silent killer. It causes an estimated, and this is a shocking number, 489,000 deaths a year. So who is most at risk and who is the most vulnerable?
Great questions, Chrissy. Thank you for this invitation to be talking with you. And yes, heat is a silent killer, as we usually say, because it doesn't make so much noise and fast like a flood that happens just like that, or an earthquake. It kills silently, affecting first those who are most vulnerable. And here we are talking about the elderly, young children, pregnant women, and those who have pre-existing medical conditions, especially heart diseases and kidney and renal diseases, and those who are isolated as well, who are usually the elderly. And the homeless suffer as well because they have nowhere to find refuge. So whenever we see a protocol or a heat action plan, we want to make sure that there are specific protocols that take into account this vulnerable group and that set up concrete actions to put them into safe first.
Yeah, so you point out the elderly, children, the homeless. These are the people who are most vulnerable to extreme heat and potential, and it could be deadly, heat stroke. But what about people who...
Free Sudan! Boycott diamonds and gold! Free Sudan! Boycott diamonds and gold! We most definitely cannot forget about the people of Sudan!
Thanks for watching Afro Think Tank. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. And follow me on Substack and Patreon for more content. Remember, it's Pan-Africanism or nothing.